Here's exactly how I scaled a small portfolio extremely fast and turned it into a cash flowing rental property. I started with zero point 0.1 SOL about 6 months ago in my YouTube trading challenge that you can go and still look up today. And I turned it into a cash flowing rental property in less than a year. Now, today, I'm gonna do it all over again and share my strategy with you guys so you can copy it as well. Now, if you're starting with less than $100, fees extremely matter in this scenario when trying to scale a portfolio extremely fast. So one of the platforms I use and have been using for quite a while is BullX Neo, this version. I do have a link down in the description for you guys to use that. I see a lot of people pushing Nova or Axiom. There's always a new platform. Pick one that works for you and learn how to trade with it extremely fast. So with a small budget, you can't really afford all of these expensive communities and expensive tools. So this is one of the reasons I use BullX, is because of their cheap fees, and you're able to edit this very easily. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. So inside on the right hand side, these are all of our order settings, and I have up to 5 here: a cheap, slow, or regular, medium, and fast. This has a lot to do with the volume coming into the coin. If I want to get in immediately, I pay a little bit extra on the bribe and priority fees. Now I have a full video you guys can check out. I released it less than a month ago, and it goes over all of these fee settings. I do highly suggest checking that out. But as we see this coin absolutely dump, let's go over some of these settings here. So on a slippage side, I have about 10%. You can have less than 10% in order to practice this. Now I do have MEV protection enabled, but if you're using, let's say, $10 to trade, you don't necessarily need that. My buy bribe is extremely low, 3 zeros and then a 2, and that's the same for the priority fee. Now you can also check that down below inside BullX, and it goes over some of the landed priority fees and what the typical transactions are paying for. If we actually check out the priority fee tracker to its decimal point, we can take these micro lamb ports, let's say 200,000, put that inside here. It's 0.0002 like we have inside, and that will adjust and make our transactions go through just fine. Now I do have the same settings for the sell and buy, but if you want to see a slower setting, we can see here 0.0009. I have those for both. A regular setting, maybe 0.0025. And then if I'm really trying to get in and out of a transaction fast, I don't recommend this for small portfolios, but I have 0.02 and 0.02 with about 25% slippage. I may pay extra for this, but it does get me inside if I am very confident it will go up. Now, once we know how to buy and sell for very minimal amounts, let's start filtering out the projects we know we don't want to get into and start advance targeting some of the ones we do. Now with a larger portfolio, I dip into the graduated tokens. This is where you can typically find the daily runners. You can play these charts multiple times and make your 20-50%. If you get into it on before graduated, you're looking at 1000x potentially. But this isn't where I suggest you go with a small portfolio. With a smaller portfolio, I suggest using the scalping strategy, which you've seen in my portfolio building challenge on this channel. But let's go over the filters on how I find these. Now, there are always outlier tokens where this doesn't work and I would miss out. But let's say only 1% of all of the pump fund tokens graduate in a day. I can't predict that 1%, so you would have to trade a ton of tokens in order to hit that daily runner. Instead, I'm trying to increase my likelihood of finding a runner, and this is how we filter out just the complete garbage, the complete rugs. So I personally don't like a dev holding more than 10%. This can really just rug the token at any one time, and it's extremely hard to predict. Insider wallet supply means it's bundled or not. I don't like to see this bundled because if they just all choose to dump, that can happen extremely fast. I like at least a $15,000 market cap. This prevents it just from dumping after launching. And in the token age, I want the max as to half an hour. This is something that's new, it has volume, and we're hoping to catch it before it just completely dumps. Now, even with these 4 filters, you can see how much more attainable this chart looks. We can research both of them. We can see all of the stats, and we can dive into what we want to potentially research before purchasing. Now, diving into this token, it may take you a while to figure out, but this is not a natural chart. We can also see there's no trades, there's no data found on this. This means there's a buy sell bot that is faking these transactions to make this chart look natural, but it is not something we want to participate in. Diving into the next chart, we can see that it does look a bit more natural, but it doesn't have a ton of data inside either. And a hack I have is putting in a bunch of tracked wallets, people that trade way better than me. And if I don't see any of the tracked wallets popping up on here, I may want to stay away, because do I believe I am in before them? Very, very unlikely. All right, let's go over the sponsor of today's video. It is Bybit. They are promoting their VIP program. If you're serious about trading, have a decent trading volume, you should definitely check this out, as it's packed with perks. Let me explain. The VIP tiers start at 50K in trading volume, so you don't need to be a whale to get in. They have lower trading fees, whether you're scalping or swing trading, which will increase your profits. You'll get priority customer support, which is extremely important in this type of world. You'll get exclusive earn and airdrops if you join this program, and you'll get advanced trading tools like lower latency and strategy sessions for only VIP members. If you're a part of the top tiers, you get a dedicated account manager, which is huge. If you're an active trader, this is a no-brainer. Make sure to check out the Bybit VIP program. Now, new creations is extremely busy place. You can try to filter it down like I did before, but when tokens are released, sometimes the dev is holding way more than they should be. Sometimes there's a lot more insiders are bundled, and people catch a lot of plays with them not looking good, but because it's early and because they think other people will dive into them. Here's an example of a very quick scalp I took and made approximately 10%. We can see the initial pump here at just over $10,000 market cap. We see all of these tracked wallets. And now if you're in my Discord, I give out all of the tracked wallets, but all of these are tracked wallets here that I have that are typically much better traders than myself. And so I have seen that most of them have entered in, and it took a dive here. Now there is always a pullback after an initial pump, especially on these low ones. But if it holds these levels and we see more people purchasing in, we could see an immediate reversal. So more and more of these wallets were buying in without selling. I decided to purchase approximately right here, and I started seeing some top signals and sold my bag immediately for that. Again, not saying this was the perfect trade. I could have been a lot lower, but I'm in and out like a lot of these wallets because it just tanked and went to zero. But we're all able to take our piece and move on to the next. Now, a lot of the time, if these are natural charts, they will continue to just bustle along. This is good if the volume is there. We want to track this volume. Again, this is not a coin I'm entering, but just as an example, there are also a lot of psychological numbers you have to look out for. Everyone will take profit when they are up. And like I mentioned, a lot of people are using the scalping strategy, but people love to take a profit right before the bonding curve. So right before that 70K is a zone you should look out for. So if you see a coin taking this sort of trajectory and you want to enter, try to take some profit or make that scalp before the bonding. This is typically a coin flip as to where it's going to go after bonding, and not something you want to expose yourself with a small portfolio. I like to avoid guessing, and these trenches that are in there daily, I put them into my wallet trackers, and it shows me sort of what type of coins are going off that day, what investments they're going after, and where they're making some of their money. Now, a lot of them are trenchers that just buy and sell at 10K market caps, and this is how they make millions per year. Not necessarily my strategy. I need to see some confluence between a bunch of people buying in and the volume staying strong. Now, being there all day, every day, you will catch a daily runner, and you can play these charts multiple times throughout the day due to those psychological numbers. Once you're comfortable with these buying and selling scalping strategies at these lower market caps where the ROI is much better, you can slowly increase your budget and start taking more aggressive plays. Now, I personally stable anything over 10 SOL in my wallet because this is my version of paying myself for the profit I have made. And this is how I have increased my rental portfolio. Just make sure you have a profit-taking strategy once your scalping profits get to a certain point, because you don't want to blow it all in one silly trade. Now, I'll be trenching and going over this in my Discord, and you can check that out at cryptocaptains.com or the link in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like it, subscribe if you're not, and until next time, take care.